Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see if you watched the last video of looking back over hunting season 2020, I made reference to the worst hunting mistake I have ever made in my entire life. Let me play the first part of that hunt for you right now. This is the first time I've hunted out of this blind. I am sitting, as you might have been able to tell, in the same spot where I missed one doe and nicked another with my bow. I hope I don't have that problem today because we're hunting with the muzzleloader. Now, a caveat on this muzzleloader: it's shooting about 4-inch groups at 100 yards because the barrel is pitted. I made a mistake a couple of years ago and forgot to clean it for about a week after I'd been shooting it, and it ruined the barrel. But it's still shooting decent enough to kill deer at fairly short ranges, so that's what we're doing. Limiting my shooting to 100 yards, and we should be good with that. Okay, so we're breaking right here before the shot. You can see that everything looks perfect. I'm sitting in the blind, looking out across the field, and that deer is standing right over here in this corner. Yeah, right there. And presenting pretty much the perfect shot. And let's go and watch the rest of this clip here. Okay, so I did not think that I hit it. After watching back through the video, it looked like the deer ran off unscathed. I didn't see a kick, nothing. So I looked around for it that night. I actually took several passes all through these woods back here. I searched every little dip that I could think of. I went all over the place. I couldn't find a drop of blood. I couldn't find a piece of hair, a piece of guts, nothing. Nothing whatsoever. I'll play a piece of video here again for you from that night. Well guys, I've got several bits of good news and several bits of bad news as well. Good news is, well, let's go with the bad news first. I missed. I missed. No blood anywhere. Not by that scrape that he was standing at when I shot at him. And no blood on the trail that he ran. I went and I did a sweep of the area that he ran to. Didn't see not a single drop of blood, no sign of him. How I missed? I have no idea. Other than that the gun is not shooting well. So what we're gonna do is go back to the house right now and set up a light on a target at the exact distance we shot at that deer, and take a shot on a gigantic piece of cardboard and see if we're close. If we are, I'll be right back here hunting in the morning. That's part of the good news. Be right back here in the blind, hunting in the morning before the sun comes back up. Hopefully we'll shoot a deer. If not, that's all right. We'll go and take a look around the woods again in the direction that he went, and we'll take a look again just to make sure I didn't miss anything, just to make sure that the deer's not laying dead up there. I don't think he is. I really don't think he is. Don't think he's wounded at all. And that's the other bit of good news. He seems to be missed cleanly because, like I said, not a single drop of blood. So, while I am befuddled, I'm kind of glad too that he's not wounded. Alright, so I am 60 yards away. I'm gonna brace up against this tree right here. I've got a light shining on the box downrange. I don't have a target camera down there because I don't know quite where this is gonna hit, and I don't want to shoot my camera. So let me get my earplugs in. And let me make sure I'm well clear of the back of the truck. Yep, not gonna get hit, no matter how far off I am. Okay, I'm on 6 power, just like I was. So let's brace against the tree. And we'll see where the shot goes. Well, guys, that means there is no way we should have missed that deer. This shot right there was from double checking zero the other day. It sighted in 100 yards, so there's my aim point, and there was my point of impact, not too far off. Our shot just now landed right there. Not bad at all. I'm definitely gonna keep hunting with this in the morning, so maybe I just pulled the shot. I am kind of, I don't know, it's a little crazy. I don't know how I missed that deer. He didn't look hit in the video. I'm gonna go put the memory card in the computer and double check, make sure I don't see a wound on his side as he's running away. I should be able to frame by frame it enough to see that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys back in the blind tomorrow morning. All right, so the next day I came out and I was gonna hunt the morning and then look around a little bit to see if I could find that deer. So I walked, as I'm doing now, over to this tree line and was hunting around. Let's pop up there a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show this to you. I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see it through the camera. Oh, actually probably pretty well. So the property line is kind of right over in there. There's a little dip and then a rise, and the property line's on there. And you might be able to see through the trees. Yeah, right there. There is a big old deer house over there, and the neighbor that hunts this place also uses that, and that is on his property. But I am on the property I'm allowed to hunt on, and I walked up here, I was looking for that buck, and a good size 8-pointer walked right through here and then stopped 30 yards away from me. Now, I don't remember exactly where I was, but it was somewhere in here. He stopped at like 30 yards, and I think it was right over in this scrub over here. I pulled up the gun, settled my crosshairs, and shot. And this was another mistake, guys, because it was standing in the brush, and even at such a close distance, maybe it was 40 yards. Anyway, you get the point, it was close. Should be an easy standing shot. My crosshairs, I know, were exactly where they should be. But I shot at that deer, it ran across. I watched it run all through the field down here, cross the field at least 350 yards away, and went off. It was perfectly fine. I have zero doubt as to whether I hit that deer or not. I am 100% sure that it was a clean miss because he didn't appear injured, and again, he ran 350 yards at least, and didn't stumble, nothing. I did go over, see if I could find any blood. I walked along the tree line, no blood, no signs of anything. The tree line across, clear over in there, across the field, and again, nothing. So I took a shot hastily, and that's kind of the story of my muzzleloader season, unfortunately. Took a shot hastily at a deer standing in the brush, and the bullet deflected, and I missed the biggest buck I have ever taken a shot at. And I still lose sleep about that several months later. After shooting this video, I grabbed my trail camera and took it back to the house and was looking through some of the pictures, and wouldn't you know it, that buck that I missed right here showed up on my trail camera January 8th, pretty early in the morning. And January 8th was the last day of any sort of deer season for the 2020 season. So he should be around in the fall, and I'll be looking for him, especially during bow season. But that distracted me. That distracted me from what I was actually out here to do, and that was to look for the deer that I had shot the day before. And I still get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach thinking about this. I'm not proud of it. It is, like I said, the absolute worst hunting mistake I've ever made in my life. This was the first couple weeks of muzzleloader season. And here in Tennessee during that time, it could be cool, it could be in the 50s, or it could be in the 80s, like it was that couple of days. There was also a lot more foliage still on the trees. They weren't near as bare as they are now. They weren't certainly full in foliage, but they weren't bare either. So if I would have searched a little further and went directly down this hill instead of following that deer that I missed out this way, I would have found it. Let's walk over there, probably 60 yards from where I am standing now, and take a look at that spot. Now this area was also a lot thicker, and you can see what I'm walking through now. There's some brambles and trees and stuff, but it's not super thick. Well, with the leaves on, it was a little bit thicker, and I simply did not look in the right spot. So you can see right in here, we're kind of on the edge of the field, but there's a bunch of dips and everything, and right on the top of this flat area right here is where that deer was laying. And I found it when I was moving around doing a few things 2 days later at 80 degrees. And I was actually looking for a spot to set my trail cam, and I was going to put one right in here, and I stumbled across the deer. And like I said, I still feel, and actually, look at this, even a few months later, there's a bunch of deer hair on the ground. I was going to try to find bones or any remnants of it, but I'm not seeing any of that. The coyotes got to it pretty darn quickly and must have carted everything that was chewable off. I did see the opposite side of the deer that I had shot it from, so it was laying with its right side pointed up towards me. You saw that I shot it on its left side, and I could see the bullet sitting just under the skin on the shoulder. I wish now that I would have cut it out to see how the bullet performed, but the deer was so bloated and stinking by then, and I was already feeling absolutely terrible from letting it go to waste like that, it didn't even cross my mind at the time. But anyway, so I had actually made a perfect shot on that deer, and it went, well, you might be able to see through the trees, it was right back in this corner over here. It probably went 70 yards and piled up. Hunting has lots of highs and lows, and like I said, absolutely turned my stomach to think that I wasted that deer, especially when it was so close. And that's part of hunting. As much as I hate it, that is part of hunting. Still not proud of it. The worst hunting mistake I have ever made in my life. Next season, I am absolutely committed to not hunt with anything that I don't have 100% confidence in. And I didn't have 100% confidence in my muzzleloader. And that's most of the reason that I gave up searching so quick. Now, also, in 2021, in the fall of 2021, I'm gonna do a lot better job tracking deer if I think there's any chance that I would have missed. Also, I've talked to the neighbor guy next to me now, and I'm fairly certain that he's not gonna have any problem with me tracking deer across onto his place if I happen to shoot one and trail it a long ways. So anyway, I've learned a whole lot in 2020 about deer hunting. I learned more about deer patterns this year than I think I ever have before. But anyway, guys, I hope you can get something out of this. I hope you don't make some of the same mistakes that I did. But if you do, know that you're not the only one, and it's part of hunting. And as much as we as hunters hate it, as much as we try to use every single part of the deer that we can, sometimes crap happens, and stuff doesn't go the way you want it to. I would rather not take a shot at all, not get any shot opportunities, than to wound a deer or kill a deer and not be able to find it. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. There will be a lot more hunting content coming up. Not super soon, because deer season's over. I may have a squirrel hunting video or something like that for you. But that's about going to do it for deer season 2020 and the first part of 2021. Again, if you haven't, go back and watch the last video where I talk about all the deer I was able to get in 2020. Thanks again for watching, and y'all have a good one.